idea?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. They're mysteries to both of us. But if Barry is doing online recruitment, that's cool with me.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
It's been a very full week. This week in the Omer, we began counting into the fourth week, and the quality of Netzach is what we're focused on now. Netzach is the power of overcoming, but it's also like a very weekday energy, the power to like overcome obstacles. And so I'm looking forward to doing this service and letting go of all that Netzach, all the change energy, and instead just have the energy of quiet and stasis like water. We start on page 10, Kabbalah Shabbat, Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Meshoch Avdach El Ritzonah Yarutz Avdach Kimo Ayah Yishtachaveh El Mul Hadarach Yerav Lo Yedidutach Mino Fetzuch Vechotam Adonai Eziv Haolam Nafshi Cholai Avata Ana Elna Rifana La Beharola Noam Ziva Az Tichazek V'Tigrapeh V'Haitalach Shifat Olam V'Tikemuna Rachamecha V'Husna Al Ben Ahuvach Ki Zeh Kama Nichsof Nichsaf Lirot Betiferet Ozach Ano Eli Mahmad Libi Chusana Ve'al Titalam Yigalena Ufros Chavivi Alai Etzukat Shelomach Ta'ir Eretz Mikevodcha Nagila V'nismechavach Mo'er Ahu Kiva Moed V'chonei Kimei Olam Yananai Nanai Yananai Nanai Yananai Nanai Yananai Nanai Yananai Nanai Yananai Nanai Acharei-Kedoshim
Let the whole earth be illuminated with your glory. We turn to page 11. Come, let us sing to Adonai.
Nahariya, Let us sing out to God, maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. Shana akut bador va'omar to'ei levavhem vehem lo yadu derachai asher nishpati be'api im yavon el menuchati ay nay 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 ay nay nay nay
In that final paragraph, we say, "For 40 years I was troubled with that generation. I said, these are the people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my way. So in anger I swore they would not enter my rest." Normally I just talk about the final word, rest, after that song, but I'm interested in the 40 years tonight. I'm interested in it because it's the week of Netzach. Netzach can be variously interpreted, but also it means endurance. And to think about the people continuing to travel over 40 years, whatever you want to say about them complaining, to continue following Moses for 40 years takes a lot of endurance, a lot of sort of patience and putting up, and that is one aspect of Netzach, is the power to stick with something, to persevere really, all the way to the end and eventually to reach the promised land. And that psalm makes me think of that as well, both on the divine side, persevering with the people, and on the human side, persevering with Moses when he didn't seem to know the way. We continue on page 13.
Shiru Adonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Miyom Le'yom Yeshuato, Sapru Vagoyim Kevodo, Bechol Ha'amim Niflotav, Ki Gadol Adonai, Omul Meod, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, Ayai, Ki Kol Elohei Ha'amim Melelim, Adonai Shammai Masa, Hod Mehador, Lefano, Oz V'Tiferet Pei Mikdasho, Havul Adonai Mishpechot Amim, Havul Adonai Kavod V'Hoz, Havul Adonai Kevo Shemo, Seu Mincha, Uvo Bechatzrotav, Havul Adonai B'Har HaKodesh, Chilu Mibanav Kol Haaretz, Imru Vagoyim, Adonai Malach, Aftikon Tevel Baal Timor, Yadinamim Ve'Mesharim, Yismechu Hashamayim V'Tagel Haaretz, Biram Hayam, Umelo, Yalo Sadai, Ve'Kol Asher Bo, Aziranenu Golat Seyar, Lifnei Adonai Kiva, Kiva, Lishbot Haaretz, Lishbot Tevel Beit Tzedek,
Anai Adonai Adonai Ay 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 Will you join me on page 16 in reading the English at the carrot instead of singing tonight? The very bottom paragraph of 16. A light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous ones, and thank God as you proclaim God's holy name. Turn with me to page 20 for Romamu. Lift up, exalt Adonai our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'ar kodsho.
Page 21. This is probably the noisiest song if you just were to read the text. Crashing, crashing is the voice of God breaking in. Of all the texts that we sing tonight, it is the most netzach type, with the voice of God revealed in power, overcoming, waking us up to deeper realities than the ones you normally think of.
Mizmor leDavid, Havu Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu Adonai kavod va'od, Havu Adonai kevod shemo ishtachavu Adonai hadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai vehadar, kol Adonai shaber arazim, shaber Adonai et arzei halbanon, vayarkidem kimo egel levanon, besiryon, kimo bein re'yemim, kol Adonai chotzev le'avodesh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai cholel hayolot vayechesov ye'arot u'heichalot kulo omer kavod Adonai ha'mavu yashar v'yeshev Adonai Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom. Yai, 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 yai.
And the final word in all of that crashing and overcoming is peace. And Adonai will bless his people with peace. Page 23.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, hishmi'anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet,
Ve'letila lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela,
likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor ha'beracha merosh mikedem,
Nesucha sov masei, B'machshava tefila lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Mikdash melech, ir melucha, kumitzei, mitnocha ha'fe'arabla, shevet be'emei ha'bacho, yachamol, alaichem
lecha
dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela,
hina
Ari me'afar komi, Al yad ben ishai be'et halach mikorva el nafshi, nafshi ge'ela lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, hitoreri ki va'orech, kumi ori Shir daberi kavod Adonai, Alayich nigla.
lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lo tivoshi velo tikami, ma tishtochachi u'matehemi, v'kechesu anieh ami v'nibneta, ir al tila lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
25.
V'ha'elim shisa shosayich, v'rachaku kol mevalayich, yasis alayich Elohayich kimsos chatan, al kala lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Yaminu smol tifrotzi, vet Adonai ta'aritzi, al yarish bein parsi v'nistmecha,
Nekabelo Lecha Dodi Nikakala B'nei Shabbat Nekabelo Boi B'Shalom Ateret Bala Gam B'Simcha U'V'Zola Toch Emunei Am Segula Boi Chala Lecha Dodi Likrakala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrakala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela.
Final lines on page 28, Od Yenuvun.
Od Yenovun B'Seiva D'Shenim V'Rananim Lehagid Ki Yashar Adonai Tzuri V'Lo Avatabo Yadadadadai
Bottom of page 29, Edotecha. In this your house, beautiful in holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time.
Edotecha ne'emnu me'od levecha navakodesh Adonai le'orech yamim Adonai le'orech yamim Yadadadai
That was very Tiferet. That was beautiful. Thank you. If you'll turn with me to page 233 and stand, we'll say Psalm 23 in memory of those who we remember, who have already departed. Mizmor David, Adonai roi lo echsar, bino deshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yenahaleni. Nafshi yeshovev, yancheni v'magle tzedek lema'an shemo. Gam ki elech begeit salmavet lo irara, yata imadi. Shivtecha umishantecha hemma yenach chamuni, ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged zorerai. Dishanta v'shemen roshi, kosi revaya. Ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni, kol yemei chayai, v'shavti beveit Adonai, le'orech yamim. Only goodness and steadfast love shall pursue me all the days of my life, but I shall dwell in the house of Adonai in the fullness of time. I want to share a thought about the Omer today. If you have your red book, you should turn to page 67. You'll see there the theme for this week, which is Netzach. Now, I don't love the translation they gave here of time and eternity. The word Netzach shares a root with the modern Israeli Hebrew word Nitzachon, meaning victory. And really, Netzach is the quality that enables victory. It is the power of overcoming. Therefore, yes, it does refer in some sense also to eternity, and the place where God rules alone, and his rule is indeed unchallenged, but that's not the main sense of it. So while that kavanah there is fine and you should know about it, I don't find it that helpful. So we've just begun counting the fourth week of the Omer, and today we're finishing up Chesed Shebenetzach, the love that is within overcoming. You know, that could easily slide to being the love of overcoming, and that probably would cause us to think a good bit about ambition. And I want to say a note on ambition before talking more about Netzach. ambition is not a bad thing in our tradition. Ambition's actually positive. Ambition would be the drive to promote yourself, but we don't see that as negative. It does need to be within check of other things. For example, what leads you to desire this thing instead of, say, that thing is very important. And that you desire something good to come into the world through all of your achievements is also very, very important. So it's not raw ambition. It's not self-promotion for the purpose of self-promotion. That would be mere opportunism. But nonetheless, it is, in some sense, through a desire to overcome a desire that will lift you further. And we actually talk about it as an aspect of the divine. Netzach is really about the capacity to bring action into the world that will actually triumph. In many ways, therefore, I want to suggest that it has very little to do with just forcing your will onto reality. That might lead to short-term wins, but long-term reversals. Instead, it has a lot more to do with the kind of understanding that allows you to see a problem, understand it for what it is, and therefore solve it, working with the natural elements or the people that you're working with. But it does allow us to overcome obstacles. That's different than merely forcing one's way. Netzach is the power that allows us to move forward with a vision. If last week we were primarily talking about love and discipline, and when those are united together in perfect balance, they become beauty, that primarily had to do with the level of our own personal motivation. Are we motivated by love in this case, or are we motivated by strength? Are we trying to be giving, or are we trying to delimit things, right? That had to do with the quality of fundamental drives in life that lead us to do things. This week is a bit more tactical. It's more to do with action. It has less to do with the heart and more to do with the approach we take in the world with other people. And so Netzach is frequently the ability to continue vis-a-vis obstacles. So endurance, think of persistence. Think of the Israelites trudging through the desert for 40 years. It really is the energy that brings change into the world. And that's very different from the corresponding energy that we'll contemplate next week, which is Hod, or glory. Netzach is the energy of the week. It's working week. It's the work week. It's seeing a goal and figuring out how to achieve it and then doing it with urgency. That's Netzach. Hod is Shabbos energy, which is most of what I talk about here because it's Shabbos when I talk to you, at least this way when I talk to you. And that has to do with the ability to step back from doing things and actually become just at one with the world around us. Hod is about the ability to receive the beauty of all things around us and see the glory in them. Netzach is about the ability to actually make something new that is beautiful and good. So they're quite different, but they're complementary. They need each other. I normally talk about Hod, but just for a brief moment, I want to talk about it. Netzach combined with Hod, when they are combined, is understood as the thing that will bring prophecy into the world. And indeed, one step further, I want to suggest that it will also one day bring Mashiach, culmination of history. That without this continual striving for one more positive step, one more improvement, right? That inner critic that says, yeah, that song was good, but it maybe could be improved with a rhythm, or without that false note, or with better, miking, we could make it even better, right? It's that internal voice that always says, we could make this one step better. And it's what brings us back the next day to improve, to make sure that we have continual incremental progress. It can also be the tough energy that says, that was good, but not good enough. We can go even further. Now, I want to say something about that internal critic. That internal critic can be deafening, can be too much, can leave us dissatisfied with life. And that's why we have to practice the attitude of Hod. That has to do with Shabbat. That has to do with, wow, everything that is really amazing. And just experience it as a gift. At the same time, Netzach is what allows us to actually make different choices in the world. Today, if we look at the Parsha on Parshat Acharei-Mot, it has everything to do with Yom Kippur. We're going to read about the rituals of the two goats, what the high priest does. We're going to read the holiness code to do with sexual ethics. And everything seems to be pointing not towards overcoming some force out in the world, but overcoming instead ourselves. So I want to make one further point about Netzach in our tradition is not so much about overcoming an external enemy. I've been watching this documentary about Mehmed, the Ottoman conqueror who conquered the city of Constantinople. And he was the first in many, many centuries, I think actually over 1,000 years, to burst through the walls of Constantinople, which until he did it had kind of defined an age and vanquished all of the would-be conquerors. But he brought a massive cannon that shot a ball that was 2 meters across. And it eventually broke through the walls, and he changed the shape of warfare. That's just the sort of mere ambition. I want to conquer Constantinople because that will make me important, therefore I'll do it. Right? But quite different from that, I think, rather than that model of a conqueror, right? It's not Alexander the Great, it's not Mehmed the Conqueror. Instead, it's the power to overcome what holds us back as individuals. Because on Yom Kippur, we present ourselves before God as individuals. Yes, all together, it's a kind of awesome moment when everyone fills this room. And please God will be able to do that this year. But we come and stand as individuals before God, and we ask God to forgive us our personal sins, to help us overcome the places that we are stuck, that we repeatedly make mistakes. And that can be a kind of incredibly sobering moment. Wow, those sins of this year look not so different from my sins of my youth or the sins of last year. I had hoped I would make some progress. Netzach is the ability to look at those raw facts and say, I'm going to keep at it. I can genuinely confess my sins again this year and trust that God will A, forgive me, and that somehow we'll make progress on this. That's Netzach as well. It's the ability in our tradition to overcome the self. As we had said before in these talks about the qualities of the Omer, who is the person who is mighty? It is the person who has conquered his or her own desires, his or her own urges. That person is far preferable than someone who takes a city. So I want to encourage you with the power of Netzach to continue the struggle to overcome also ourselves and to bring changes into the world beginning with the self. Shabbat Shalom. Continue on page 39B at the bottom, 39A at the bottom, the bracha before the Shema.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzivot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid yimochalenu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
Page 40.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shofeinu u'v'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, ושרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 44.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכהנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך רב ובניך, חוקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב גאלו מעט חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. יאי לי 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 איי לי 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 יאי לי 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 לי
Join me on the English side of 45. Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, O God, watch over and deliver us. And you, O God, are sovereign, merciful, compassionate. Ensure our going and our coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 46. If you're able to, please stand.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beridol Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beridol Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beridol Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beridol
The Marav Amidah is silent and begins on page 47. 53. Oh.
I do, but I don't have to.
No, we want the Oseh.
Oseh shalom, bimromav. Oseh shalom, bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oseh shalom. Bimromav. Oseh shalom. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayechol Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayikadesh oto ki vo shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot.
Move to the next page, beyond. 2 pages, actually. Straight to Kiddush on 55.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim. I started that Kiddush a little too high, and then I panicked, and I was stuck there.
It was kind of great, actually.
Thanks.
I didn't know you could do soprano like that.
It was a surprise to me as well.
Page 56.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol.
Tate kedula leotzer breshit. Lo asanu kegoye oratzot. Velo samanu kemishpachot hadama. Shelo sam chilkenu kahem. Vegor aleinu keolamonam. V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'taken olam b'malchut shaddai להפנות אליך כל רישי הארץ. ונאמר, והייתה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. This week at Temple Bethel, we remember the following Yartzites: Abraham Altman, Dina Asman, Gabriel Asman, Abe Baker, Lizzie Bloomston, Yefim Bubis, Ida Bubis Kishinevskaya, Benjamin Bucholter, Luna Kapuya, Max Trissad, Esther Cohen, Thelma Cohen, Victor Cohen, Wallace Cohen, Sarah Copeland, Clara Davis, David Finkelstein, Sarah Frankel, Fanny Goldman, Bessie Halpern, Roselle Harris, Marvin Kaplan, Harry Kirshner, Raya Kishnevskaya, Abe Kravitz, Samuel Lemkin, Solomon Lepp, Mary Lichtenstein, Bernard Lichter, Judy Lux, Chaya Lubinskaya, George Markowitz, Max Matlick, Sadie Michelson, Natalie Morrow, Loretta Munn, Richard Nassau, Gerald Packler, Jacob Radwin, Barnett Randman, Benjamin Roth, Fanny Royal, Ethel Schoenberg, Eugene Schwartz, Rebecca Scurry, Leon Skirko, Edward Isaac Stein, Louis Stubblefield, William Torm, Ruth Weinstein, Joyce Weintraub, Rosa Weintraub, Muriel Zabel, Itzk Zeltzer, Rose Zimmerman, and Nathan Zivitz.
Al Metzger.
And Alan Metzger. If you would have been saying Kaddish, you may rise and join with me on page 233. Let's say the English and then the Hebrew. A Psalm of David. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. God lays me down in green pastures, leads me to still waters, and renews my life. He guides me in right paths, for that is God's way. Were I to walk through a valley as dark as death, I would fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You spread a table for me in full view of my besiegers. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Only goodness and steadfast love shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai in the fullness of time. Mizmor le David, Adonai hoi lo echsar, binot deshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yenahaleni, nafshi yeshovev, yancheni v'mag letzedek leman shemo, gam ki elech beged salmavet, lo irara, ki ata imadi. שבתך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי. תשענת בשמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. Announcements this week. I am very happy to announce that Temple Bethel now has an online calendar. This has been a long time coming, and it's now up and running. So you can check our website to find all the amazing information about Temple Bethel programs and services that have been listed there. It has some special learning opportunities that can happen over the internet, just like all of our learning opportunities right now from Jewish institutions nationwide, like the Rabbinical School in California, Ziegler, also the Conservative Yeshiva in Jerusalem. You can be participating in their courses right in your home. These classes are free, and they're available to you. In fact, they're designed for you as part of Conservative Judaism. So go check out those events, put them in your calendar, put in the Zoom link, and make yourself as busy with Torah learning as you're able to be, or as you'd like to be. It's all accessible at the Bethel homepage on the bottom left. It says calendar, Temple Bethel on the welcome page, and then under calendar. After several weeks without our experiential Jewish learning religious school, we will again be meeting via Zoom this Sunday. We're very happy to say. Specific meeting info was distributed on Thursday to religious school families over email, and this was going to be a day full of fun and learning experiences for every age. One of our highlights this weekend is for toddlers and children who are pre-K to third grade. They are going to be engaging in the worldwide synagogue sing with nationally renowned Jewish artists like Eliana Light and Chava Muriel. Chava Muriel. How exciting is that? If you have questions about Sunday's schedule or Zoom meeting details, please contact Sarah Metzger. Confirmation class will be again meeting at 11 a.m. on Sunday. I look forward to seeing confirmees on our Zoom link. And the Social Action Committee is holding its next book club on May 17th. This month's book is called Homegoing by Ya Gyasi. Dahlia Abrams will be facilitating the discussion. Registration is required, and participants need to have read the book in advance of the event. So you got your evening scheduled if you're part of that. Register online at templebethel.net. Don't forget, if you're a young professional, You Belong in Birmingham has a new Shabbat program happening May 8th. That's next weekend. The group is going to be providing its participants with Shabbat oneg bags, copies of Friday night prayers, information on Shabbat home celebrations, and more. So contact Kendall Jaffe at You Belong in Birmingham at bjf.org for further details, or if you know someone who could benefit from it. Does that cover it, Sarah? Yofi. Turn with me to page 211 for Adon Olam.
Adon Olam
Asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nira le'ed nasa v'hefso kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei-Kedoshim hakol levado yimloch nora Vehu aya, vehu ove, vehu yeh b'tifara, vehu yeh b'tifara, vehu echad v'yein sheni, lehamshilo lehapira, beli reishi, beli tachlit, velo ha'oz, ve'amisra, Velo ha'oz ve'ha'mitzvah Vehu eli v'chai go'ali V'tzur chevli v'etzara Vehu nisi umanosli Menat kosi ve'yom ekra Menat kosi ve'yom ekra Be'yado afkid ruchi Eidishan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviadi Adonai li ve'lo ira Adonai li ve'lo ira. Good Shabbos.
Shabbos. And good Shabbos to all of you watching at home, especially Liam. Hi, Liam. Not especially Liam, but, you know. Hi, Barry. Hi, the Unkenholtz team.
Especially Barry. Barry's so sweet. He lets us know what he noticed every time, and I love it with such positive feedback. Barry's a champion audience member. He's amazing. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos.
Hope you get some rest. Have a good meal. Enjoy this sunset. I've been enjoying the light. Sarah, did you notice that somehow the sunset light, probably off the windows, was coming through the east window tonight, earlier, until it switched over to the west side? Good Shabbos, yo.